So, now question, how to develop calm mind? Calm mind out of fear, impossible. Calm mind out of too much of anger, too much attachment, impossible. Then, calm mind actually very much related with self-confidence. Self-confidence, there are two kinds. Blind self-confidence, over self-confidence, unrealistic sort of self-confidence. That is dangerous. But self-confidence on proper sort of basis, that's very necessary in order to develop calm mind. Now, how to develop self-confidence proper way? Usually, fear mainly comes from others.
In relation to others.
In relation with others, to others. And anger. Occasionally, sometimes angry oneself. That also has happened. Sometimes there's some important thing, forget, then say, oh, I forget that. That's not much serious. Okay, sometimes it happens. But mainly, it's real anger comes to us, mainly as a sort of community, as a community member. That also unknown people, we not sort of develop anger to unknown people, but only those people who often you see meeting. So therefore, when we develop sense of concern of their well-being develop, then the very basis of anger is no longer there. You're really cherishing them. So even if it's a small sort of disagreement, small sort of causing irritation, but on the superficial level or intellectual level, yes, he done something bad or she done something bad to me, like that. But deeper emotional level, not much disturbed. Still, you see, they are part of our community, part of me, part of we. My future depends on them. I should be more concerned about their well-being. Then, the anger, attachment, these things, much sort of, the intensity much reduced. Clear? That's the way to develop self-confidence. And through that way, then you see, no basis of fear, no basis of distrust, these things. And then, since you respect others, since you consider others also part of me, part of we, then you can deal with them honest, truthful, transparent. So that brings self-confidence. That reduces suspicion, distrust. So that's why develop calm mind. Like that. So my own life, I think last over now almost 60 years, I had sort of experience meeting with a variety of people and watching a lot of sort of world event. Then my conclusion is, and many other also have the same view, modern life very much oriented about consumerism, and very much materialistic sort of oriented. Our way of life, very much materialistic sort of culture, like that. Our very education system itself is very much materialistic oriented. I think that's something we have to pay more attention, seriously. Now, reason, simple. The goal, happiness, which we want. There are two levels. One level, happiness, satisfaction, through sensorial experiences. Seeing something nice, get some satisfaction. Hearing some music or some songs like that, nice sound, you feel happy, satisfaction. A good smell, good taste, and good touch. So, all these satisfaction entirely depend on sensorial experiences. That's not long-lasting. So long music there, feel happy. Music stop or disrupt. Sometimes you feel angry. Seeing something good. So long that seeing there, you get some kind of satisfaction, happy. But then no longer there, again, you say no. So, the mental levels of experience is more serious than physical level experiences. That's quite clear. Person who have sort of all the facilities for physical comfort, that comfort cannot subdue or reduce mental worry, mental sadness. Other hand, mentally happy and satisfied, then physical difficulties can subdue. I think two patients, same illness, same hospital, get same treatment, but one mentally is awful, on top of physical sort of pain, mentally too much sort of disturbed. And other one, physical, same illness, same pain, but mentally, even you should consider that physical illness is some meaning, some kind of mentally, is a different sort of attitude, different view. The same person, same pain, but who have some sort of mentally, which is a different view, is much less mental disturbances. Very clear. So therefore, through our own experience, we can say mental level experience are more serious, more sort of important than physical level. So now, question, how can develop? What is the way to develop mental level satisfaction? Money? No. Power? No. I think physical level, you see, you have money, you see, you can buy everything, good things, and seeing something nice, or good building, good facility, everything, good garden, everything. Now here in Scotland, this part, you see, you have such wonderful flowers, which I love so much. Lupin, wonderful, wild. And then what you call foxglove, wonderful. And then some different sort of bushes, which very colorful sort of flower. So, a wealthy person, yes, you can take with this. But at the same time, if your happiness is relying on these things, then the flower broke, right? Or something happened. You may develop anger, right? Like that. So therefore, with money, external facilities, because of that,
you can create.
You can create. But mental level of happiness or satisfaction, money cannot do anything.
Produce.
Never produce. I think, so therefore, now scientists also, some well-known scientists, they found through their experiment peace of mind, mental peace, on the basis of some sort of training about practice of compassion. The physical condition much improved. They already carry some sort of experiment in America, some university I know. They already sort of, I think last few years, they carry some experiment level. So before they start training of mind, blood pressure, and also the amount of stress, and different sort of way to test. Then after 2 weeks, 3 weeks, some kind of training, or some kind of training about thinking, more deeper understanding about compassion, these things. Then after 2-3 weeks, they again test. Blood pressure significantly reduced. Amount of stress reduced. So already, scientifically, this is some, of course, those sort of specialists, those specialists, they carry seriously some sort of experiment, examine. So some significant sort of positive effect there. So therefore, training of mind, I think so far we completely sort of neglected about that. So now time comes, we have to think more about our inner value, mental level experiences. So for that reason, I think firstly, we should know more information about mind, about emotion. This is not a religious matter. Simply, like taking care about physical health, we have to know the physical sort of
bodies.
Different words today.
System.
What to say?
Systems of the body.
System of the body. Similarly, in order to shaping our mind more properly, we have to know more information about mind or emotion. Usually when we talk mind, it's something one single entity, not that. There are so many variety of mind or thought and emotion and different variety, different level. Level means some are grosser, some are deeper, some are deeper. For example, this very moment, mental sort of experience, sort of functioning with combination of sensorial consciousness. When we are dreaming, no longer sensorial sort of consciousness there, but mental level or activities there. Then deep sleep, even that no longer, but certain deeper level of consciousness still there. So at the time of death, the sensorial or mental level, which entirely depend on our brain, that already sort of cease. But certain deeper level of consciousness or mind is still there. The indication, some people, not only Buddhist practitioners, but also some Christians, you say after death, the body, even you see centuries, still remain fresh. I was told. It happened like that. So scientifically, now not yet sort of find explanation, but they simply now carrying some sort of experiment in these sort of phenomena like that. So in any way, now time come, we have to pay more attention about our inner value. So that's why I usually categorize 7 billion human beings. One category belongs to 20th century. That means like my age. And some gentlemen here, we belong 20th century, isn't it? Age because of above 50, 60, 70, we belongs to 20th century. Then another category, these young, below 30, 20, or 15, you are the generation of 21st century. Now 20th century gone. My beloved century gone now. Then, if we analyze events in 20th century, marvelous things also there. I think the greatest human history, century, most important century of human history. But meantime, that century becomes century of bloodshed, century of violence. Now, beginning of this 21st century, it is some sort of unhealthy things happen. These are symptoms of the past mistake or past negligence. I think generally, you see, everywhere, I think people's desire, peace, is really growing. I think many parts of the world, people, I think really fed up about violence. So then, peace will not bring just a slogan. I often tell him, genuine peace must come through inner peace. In emotional level, full of hatred, full of suspicion, full of, anger, how can develop peace? So genuine peace must start firstly from within. Then also, when we talk world peace cannot materialize with some kind of resolution, like United Nations or the national level. Will not. Peace must create by people. People. When we talk people means combination, right?
Yeah, collection.
A collection of individuals. So ultimately, peace must start from individual level. Individual, you should create inner peace. Then share with your family members. So develop peace, family level. Then one family, 10 family, 100 family, that way develop peace in the community. That's the way to start. I think all historical sort of figures, when they start works, firstly, one individual started initiative. So sometimes I also used to feel, the problem is so huge, and me, just one person, I cannot do much. Then I feel, each of us have the potential, make some contribution, and collectively work with certain clear aim. We can change our world. So, because, you see, this younger generation who belongs to the 21st century, the 21st century, only 11 years passed. The major portion of the century yet to come. So this is the beginning of the 21st century. So there is time. If the 21st century generation, if you start work, think more about inner value and accordingly make more effort, I think later part of 21st century may be more, peaceful century. Whenever we face some problems, some disagreement, potential of conflict, keep in mind, they also human being, human brothers, sisters, part of me, through that way, deal these problems. That means dialogue. Talk, not use force. So I often used to telling, 20th century becomes century of bloodshed. Now this 21st century should be century of dialogue. In order to carry dialogue, you need self-confidence, tremendous willpower. That I already mentioned. You see, some of these sort of mental qualities brings self-confidence, inner strength, and also respect the party or the group of people who have different views and different interests. These also human beings, essentially human beings, essentially a part of me. So, with understanding that, respect and take concern about their own interest. Through that way, meaningful dialogue can develop. So, the young people, please think more this line. Of course, as a young people, see, you naturally have some sort of fond about entertainment survey. Entertainment. But meantime, at least some portion of daily life, think about deeper level of human psychology, human mind, or these things. Do you agree? Recently, I met some Indian friend, including their children, quite youth, young, right? I think around 20 years. I just talk. I mentioned, say, last few years, I never sort of opened my television box. Then there one young Indian, how can you spend time? So you see, their life, you see, unless you spend some time television looking there, you see, they, I think, feel some kind of boring. So he really, sincerely,
so he genuinely looked really surprised and asked in earnest, in that case, how do you spend your time?
So I think then I usually see saying some of my past experience. One time in Berlin, my hotel, the room where I put by the organizer, the room, the direct sort of opposite side, the one, I think, hall. From outside, I can see different lights, blue, red, and green, changing like that. Then I can hear...
Disco lights, no?
Disco. I can hear, you see, like that. So, about late afternoon or late evening, about 6, 7, they very much sort of activities like that. I can hear sound and also the light. And I slept. Then around midnight, I wake up, oh look, still going on. Then next morning, about 4, I already now got up. I start my sort of prayer. Look, still going on. Whole night, you see, they spend like that way. Of course, maybe, occasionally, maybe, okay. But I think too much of that, I think really spoiling your health, right? And your day, whole, you see, because of the 24 hours of life, I think then disturbed.
Routine.
The other day I mentioned at night, God create time for sleep, rest. Daytime, God creates with sun, so because of the time for work, like that. So in any way, so in any way, too much sort of attraction about material value and essentially, you see, completely relying on sensorial experiences, then almost we same sort of standard way of animal just relying on their sensorial experiences. No human, no sort of intelligence. We have this marvelous intelligence. Our life should be something, something
more and something different
than animal. Otherwise, just relying on sensorial experience, they're animal. So we have this intelligence. So animal have no ability to change emotions. We have this marvelous intelligence. So through intelligence, through understanding, using intelligence, we can shaping our emotion different way. For example, anger, part of our life. But use our intelligence. How useful about anger? Physical health, mental health, no use. Even solving problem, no help. Without anger, we can take appropriate measure, effective measure like that. So therefore, intelligence is analyzed the real value. Through that way, we can develop conviction. Now, anger is no use. Even if dealing with difficult work, without anger, we can act more effective sort of ways like that. Then compassion. Biological factor of compassion, as I mentioned briefly, that animal also have. Now we, because of this intelligence, so with the help of intelligence, our sense of concern of others' well-being further develop. Animal only their friend side, their images of friend side. We human being, with help of human intelligence, our compassion can extend towards strangers and then finally even enemy. So that's we human being, only human being can do that because of this intelligence. So if we simply materialistic sort of life goes, then this intelligence remains not much use. So when we pay more attention about inner world, then our intelligence really become very useful and effective. So that I want to share with you. So now this is the beginning of the 21st century. So positive result from your effort with your new vision, you may enjoy that result in the later part of the 21st century. I will not see that, but doesn't matter. So I often see teasing you. After this life, I may go heaven or hell. Even from there, I will watch you, whether you are sincerely carrying sort of this work or not. I will watch you. So thank you. I think not only myself, but some gentlemen also, I think, accompany with me. So perhaps in heaven, we have some sort of nice sort of drink like that.